my brother and sister judges of the Punjab and Haryana High Court, Chairman Bar Council of Punjab and Haryana, Vice Chairman and other office bearers of the Bar Council, members of the Bar Council, Vice Chairman Bar Council of India, senior advocates of the Punjab and Haryana High Court Bar Association, members of the High Court Bar Association, President and other office bearers of the High Court Bar Association, distinguished educationists led by Dr. Balaram Gupta, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, officers of the High Court Registry, thank you very much for giving me this opportunity to interact with you. I must congratulate the Bar Council of Punjab and Haryana for taking one after the other initiatives in promoting professional skill among the members of the bar in the states of Punjab and Haryana. The very subject matter of today's interaction, globalization, Indian lawyers and economies, gives a complete insight of the vision with which the Bar Council is working and is interfacing the challenges which the members of the bar in very short duration rather are already started facing at the global map. Let me start with my today's events. In the morning, I delivered an inaugural speech in an international conference which is scheduled to be held for 2 days in Delhi, being organized by Asia Pacific Center of Arbitration and Mediation. Last week also I had an occasion to speak on a related subject, and after the 2 days inaugural event, I had a formal interaction with some very senior international arbitrators representing different jurisdictions who are there assembled in Delhi for the conference. Globalization in real sense, as we all understand, is in a way dismantling the geographical boundaries for the purpose of commercial activities and promoting economies through the state policies. In India, we started making attempt for opening up our economy initially in the 1990s, but the real dynamics have changed during the last decade or so, where we have thrown ourselves into the international competition have invited the global market to open up in India and have given a challenge to our own entrepreneurs and business leaders to face the international competition. It has an extraordinary and outstanding positive impact on our economy. Just now, Mr. Subir Sidhu was referring to the GDP and other growth parameters of our economy. It is a fact that now we are the fifth robust and largest economy in the world as per the GDP nominal. And in ease of business also, India is at a very high pedestal as compared to several developing countries. The economic growth in the developed nations is receding. As compared to the last year, 2022, their economic growth in 2023 has gone down. As compared to that, in the developing economies, most particularly in India, the growth has substantially increased. We are a country now with a huge market of young professionals who are consumers of varieties of products and are attracting the international investments. We ourselves are also contributing in the international economy and have created a space for ourselves in the international map. Now, in this scenario, when we are opening up in terms of commercial, industrial, or other business activities, we must realize that the business leaders coming from different parts of the world who are investing in India, in the event of any dispute arising, want affordable and cost-effective, speedy mechanism of redressal of their grievances. The net effect is that besides the conventional court system, which we have inherited from the colonial regime, the alternative dispute resolution mechanism is getting popularity and is a strong demand within and outside India. Nobody would like to invest and facing a dispute which is not resolved for years together. Therefore, arbitration, mediation, and other modes of alternative dispute resolution are getting popularized. Now, in this scenario comes the roles of the Indian lawyers and Indian legal fraternity. As I said, when we inherited the legal system, which is based upon conventional common law jurisdiction, we adopted ourselves in the profession in a very conventional manner, which I would respectfully say that it is becoming obsolete day by day. Whether irrespective of the branch in which you are practicing, there is a phenomenal change in professional skill and demand and expectations of the litigant society. All the professionals, therefore, I'm referring to the legal profession, need to update themselves in the modern tools of speedy and fast assistance and adjudication both, whether you are on this side or on the other side of the decision-making process. And it is naturally necessary for all of us to equip ourselves with the international best practices, short procedures, complete professional acumen in rendering the services, and a dispassionate approach to the nature of litigation which the modern world is now facing. There is a paradigm shift, therefore, in the legal profession. Now from the conventional litigation, we are more leaning towards the commercial litigation. And therefore I say that the time is ripe, that we need to change ourselves, concentrate ourselves on the nitty-gritties of the commercial litigation, and prove ourselves to be the true professionals who can face the international challenges as far as this branch of litigation is concerned. The other challenge which you are bound to face, and you have started facing in fact, is the legal professional services being offered by the international law firms and those who are in legal profession outside the country in two manners. One, the professional skill, and the second is the cost effectivity. I had an occasion to meet a group of lawyers working in UK and other countries, and I was surprised to know it that they are offering and providing legal services, professional services, at a very low cost as compared to what some of the few selected names in Supreme Court or in High Courts would cost them in the event of they are required to be engaged. The cost effectivity, therefore, has become a very important, crucial factor in popularizing ourselves in the global map of legal profession. There is also a very optimistic side of this change in professional dynamics. We have now a very young, bright team of lawyers in high courts and in Supreme Court and maybe even in district courts, who are, instead of carrying that old conventional practice of the family names, are now operating under the juristic name of law firms, and they are providing these professional services. Incidentally, the timing in India is very convenient. When US is sleeping, you are working. And therefore our young bright people work in the late night and provide them legal professional services in Europe and US and in other countries. These young generation of professionals, thanks to the internet, thanks to the fast communication modes, including artificial intelligence, that this young bright team of lawyers, they are ready to face any challenge, and they are as good or far better as compared to their counterparts working in Europe or US or in other countries. Therefore, whether it is Bar Council, whether it is Bar Association, or including the responsibility of the judiciary also to promote this young and bright team of lawyers and to really see that in the international competition, in the globalized competition, our team does not lag behind in any manner. And for that, we have to work in tandem, jointly, all the parts of the legal fraternity, and the Bar Association, Bar Council, the district courts or the High Courts or the Supreme Court, cannot distance itself from this competitive world. I would also like to say that very near and close to our home, our young professionals need to compare themselves with the kind of absolute professional and skilled services being provided in Singapore. Whether you talk of the judicial system there, but the most robust system they have in arbitration and mediation, and you will be surprised to know that most of the commercial litigation in Singapore is being handled by the young, bright lawyers originating from India. But the environment and atmosphere which is being provided to them, the space which is being provided to them to grow professionally, is more conducive, more supportive as compared to what we are doing here. Time has come, therefore, to find out the best practices prevailing and being followed in different jurisdictions and adopt them after maybe a suitable modification keeping in view our local conditions. Having said that, we also need to keep in mind that India as a nation, we have a diverse culture. A large section of our population is, of course, improving economically, but still we cannot ignore and overlook their financial conditions. As far as the cause of justice is concerned, it can accrue to anyone, including that poor or marginalized section of the society. So under the umbrella of modernization or a comparative with the international law firms and other practicing lawyers, we also cannot ignore and overlook the local needs of free legal aid which is required to be provided to a large section of our society. And that is the reason that the concept of pro bono legal aid, though commenced in different jurisdictions, but it has been well established and sincerely and religiously followed in our country, not only by the members of the bar and judiciary, but we must compliment that even the legislature also came forward with the enactment of the 1987 Act, which all of you are aware. So while throwing ourselves into the world competitive scenario, updating ourselves, we cannot also ignore this section of the society to whom we carry a moral duty and responsibility to provide legal aid. My suggestion to the Bar Council, to the Bar Association, and other flagship organizations of the legal fraternity would be that you need to train yourself periodically. This is the high time that the Bar Councils and Bar Associations should establish training institutes, and I believe one of the institute is being set up in Odisha probably, where you need to train the young members of the bar to make them as good as any other legal professional in the global world, and also carry out a kind of survey and study of the different high courts and district bar associations, wherever you find the different kind of commercial litigation is there, that how to provide the professional assistance and legal acumen to the local members of the bar. This kind of periodical training programs by the Bar Council and Bar Association are extremely required in the present day time. The other thing I would like to request all of us is that we must also take up the causes of periodical and timely suitable amendments in the laws and other rules and regulations, so that in the commercial litigation, whether it is arbitration, mediation, or any other form of commercial litigation, we do not lag behind in any manner, and our statutory mechanism as well as the legal system must respond to the demands and expectations of the world business community. I hope the Bar Council, the Bar Association, and each one of us who are the stakeholders in the legal system will take all these necessary steps and go forward. Thank you very much for giving this opportunity. Thank you.